Okay, good morning, folks. Hope we're all well on this grey morning in Dublin. I see people are coming into the chat. You might just pop a good morning and tell us what the weather is like wherever you are in the country, just to let me know that you can all hear me okay. That would be great. Just pop a good morning into the chat function, which would be great, just to let me know you're all there and you can all hear me okay. Thank you very much. Okay, great. Okay, lots of good mornings. Pretty grey here in Dublin. Isabella, it's a cloudy Glasnevin. It certainly is. I'm not too far away from you. Good morning from Kildare. Nothing from Cork yet. We usually get a sort of the sun is shining in Cork because the sun is always shining in Cork. But look, you're all very welcome. Thanks a lot for joining us this morning. And the plan for the next 45 minutes or so is I'm going to look to tell you everything you need to know about how to get certified as a great place to work. How does the program work? What are the benefits? Give you a sense of some of the clients that we work with. How do you activate the achievement? What's the benefit of that? And also looking to hear any questions that you have. So please pop your questions into the chat function at any stage, and we will look to answer the questions as we go. But we very much want to hear from you in terms of what is on your mind, any questions that you have, anything you feel we didn't cover. Please feel free to pop the questions into the chat. And for everyone on the call, we have a mix of organizations on the call of different sizes, different industries, and we also have some CEOs, some HR and culture people, and some marketing people. So we have a good eclectic mix of people on the call. As I said, pop your questions into the chat function, and we will also have some interactive polls just to sort of help the sense of engagement for this online call. And the first poll is coming up now. It would be great if you could answer it. Do you believe you work in a great place to work? And the answers are yes or no. Do you believe you work in a great place to work? Answers are coming in, yes or no. Thank you for taking part. We'll leave it there for a few seconds more. Do you believe you work in a great place to work? And the poll has ended. And 92% of people on the call believe that they are working in a great place to work. And 8% have said no. So thank you very much. That's interesting. 92% of people believe they're working in a great place to work, and 8% have said no. And whether you said yes or no, you've still come to the right town. We can help you either way. Thank you very much for that. That was great. And I think we have possibly one more poll coming up now. And a question, where did you hear about Great Place to Work? From a company that's already certified, on social media, in the Irish Times, search engine, wherever that is, and an employer branding summit. So where did you hear about Great Place to Work? From a company already certified, on social media, in the Irish Times, search engine, or the employer branding summit. Thank you for taking part there. And the poll has finished. Where did you hear about Great Place to Work? And 42% of people have said from company already certified. 33% of people have said on social media, 8% the Irish Times, 8% the search engine, wherever that is, and 8% the employer branding summit. So thank you very much for taking part in that. And the employer branding summit was actually an event that we had last week, where we had a number of client organizations talking about how they build their employer brand, how they look to attract talent, how they build their EVP. And if anyone is interested actually in accessing that employer branding summit, I think you can go onto our website, key in your details, and you'll get access to the recording there. Okay, brilliant. So look, thank you very much for that. Okay, so for the next few minutes, I'll give you a sense as to how the program looks. All right, and the first slide there is a slide that's really important to us, and it is it's our mission. We believe that any organization can build a great culture. Okay, and our mission is to help you do it. And we work with organizations of different industries, different size, and any organization can build a great culture. And we very much orientate the work we do as a team to supporting you in terms of building that great workplace. Where can we help? I suppose we look with four main areas: organizational culture. As you'll see in the next few slides, we have a model where we will be able to talk about the strengths that you have from an organizational culture and the areas of improvement that you have from an organizational culture point of view. Employee experience is a survey, is a key element of the program. Getting underneath the employee experience, what things work, what things would they like to see done better is a key part. Leadership development this is a part of the business where I would spend a bit of my time supporting senior teams and sometimes middle management groups around improving trust levels and improving their culture. And then employer branding. And we believe being certified as a great place to work is a tool that you have available in terms of how you look to attract talent. And being certified as a great place to work is obviously something that will enhance your employer brand. So that's just a quick overview. If someone was to ask you in your organization, what is a great workplace? This is the definition that we use. A great workplace is where you trust the people you work for, you have pride in what you do, and you enjoy the people that you work with. So you trust the people that you work for, have pride in what you do, and enjoy the people you work with. And the model that we have is all questions and categories that fit underneath that definition. Okay, and I know we've all been through quite a lot over the last couple of years. And for many of us, the offices have been removed and taken away, and we've been operating a new way of working, and lots of interesting conversations over the next few weeks as to how we will continue to work as a workplace. Will we move to a hybrid model? Will we not? How does it work? Your journey starts with a simple process. The first step on the journey is our employee survey. And I'm going to share with you the 17 categories that the survey covers. You select the window you want the survey to go live. We will support you with a program manager that will help walk you through the program, help you through each step of the process. You select the survey to go live. We'll help you position the survey to try and get the most responses from employees that we can. To put it simply, if everyone in your workplace has an email address, on the date that you want the survey to go live, the link will arrive in from ourselves into that person's inbox. They press on the link. Usually takes about 10-11 minutes to complete the survey. And once they press submit, the response comes straight back to us. Culture capture, this is typically completed by HR, and it's a culture brief, and it takes not too long. It's an Excel spreadsheet where we're asking for demographic information on your workplace. What's the male and female breakdown? So you have the survey, obviously completed by all employees, and then you have the culture brief, which is an Excel file where we're looking for demographic information around your workplace. Doesn't take too long to complete. Leave the survey open for 2 weeks, and then typically around 3 weeks after the survey closes, we are ready to present the results back to the organization, back to HR and the leadership team. We obviously produce all the reports, and I'll give you a flavor as to how some of those reports look. But that's a really important moment in the program, is when we present the results back into the business and give you a sense as to what the action plan would look like around improvement based on what we see in the survey results. And we can benchmark your results across industry, across the best workplaces, just to help you get some understanding around how your data sits. And of course, recognition is a key part of it. So we can certify you as a great place to work as soon as we've presented the results. So we leave the survey open. So really the process takes from start to finish. You can be certified as a great place to work within 5 to 6 weeks. So it doesn't take too long to get access to that logo, to start flying it, to start attracting talent. So how does the certification piece work? Obviously, it fits very much in terms of leveraging your employer brand, and the survey is the cornerstone of certification. And when we average out all the results to the survey questions in terms of the people that have ticked almost or always true and almost always true, if you get 65% or higher, you'll have completed the culture brief, which is that Excel sheet. We can certify you as a great place to work. And that certification is valid for 1 year. So for 1 year, you can use that certified logo in terms of how you look to attract talent. Okay. And that number is 65% when we average out all the questions on the survey. I thought it would be interesting just to share this quote. This is actually put up on LinkedIn this week. And a client of ours is Water Wipes, who you may have heard, a great Irish organization doing great things on the global stage. Many of us might have used the Water Wipes product if we have young kids. And I thought this was an interesting quote from Aidan, who is the Chief People Officer from Water Wipes. We are delighted for the third consecutive year to achieve accreditation. Whilst the people and employee-centric program, Great Place to Work, is much more than a metric for Water Wipes. It plays an active role in our global strategy, enablers, our culture, and the ethos of one strategy, one team, and #one Water Wipes. We are proud of what we've achieved and together making Water Wipes a great place to work. So an interesting quote from Aidan there in Water Wipes. I would have been with his leadership team about 2 weeks ago presenting the results. And even though they're certified as a great place to work, still talking about what can we do to improve the culture, how can we improve the workplace. So it's great to have very much a continuous improvement mindset around their culture, which is great. The survey, which I said is the heart and the backbone of being certified, and there is 17 categories that the survey covers: communication and involvement, strategy and direction, management and leadership, performance management. I won't go through them all. Talent management, we ask questions around, do people feel like they're hiring people who fit in well here? Career and development, recognition, questions on reward, diversity, teamwork, etc. So what we're hearing back from clients is that the category areas that the survey covers seems to be giving back all the intel that an organization needs in terms of where our strengths are and where are our opportunities. And don't worry, we'll make these slides available so you'll have those 17 categories, you know what they are. So survey seems to cover most that an organization needs in terms of understanding their workplace culture. The survey method, talked about it there. So I've just picked one question from the survey itself. I'm proud to tell others I work here. For those interested in scaling, it's a Likert scaling, and it goes from almost always untrue to the right-hand side of the scale, which is almost always true. And we count the people that have said often true or almost always true. And we also ask 2 open-ended questions. So the data is great, but sometimes it's really interesting to understand the comments and suggestions and what's going on in people's minds. We ask 2 open-ended questions. What do you believe makes the organization a great place to work? So that's we're looking for the positive type comment. And then we ask what one thing would make the organization a better place to work. So we ask 2 open-ended questions. And so the data is great. It's also really useful to have the comments and suggestions there. So that's how our survey method works. And we have a poll actually just before I go into that slide there. And the question is, do you currently have an employee engagement survey? You might call it an employee experience survey. Do you currently have an employee engagement survey? Yes or no? It's looking like a photo finish on the horse race between yes and no. Do you currently have an employee engagement survey? And 48% of people have said yes, and 52% of people have said no. So that's interesting, quite an even split. And just to say, lots of our clients, they may be part of a global organization that do a survey globally as well, but also use the Great Place to Work survey. So we've lots of experience working with organizations that have two surveys in place. So do you currently have an employee engagement survey? And 48% have said yes, and 52% have said no. Okay, listen, thank you very much for taking part in that poll. That was interesting. Moving on in terms of the reporting, right? So what we've shared so far is survey is the key to being certified as a great place to work. The survey covers 17 categories. A few weeks after the survey closes, we present the results and obviously issue the reports. And if there's 5 or more responses in a particular, within the organization, within a department, within a grouping, we can look at the survey responses. Okay, so if there's 5 or more responses, we can look at the data. Okay, so we will tell you in terms of all the questions that we ask. How does the male-female breakdown look? How does age look? How does years of service look? Etc. Etc. Is there any difference between our middle managers and our senior team, for example, which is always an interesting topic and an interesting conversation. But the reports will allow us to identify, along with you, what areas will we focus on in terms of improving and in terms of our action plan. Okay. When to survey? This is a question sort of we're often asked, like, is there a perfect time or a great time to survey? Like it really is your choice, right? You're in control of when the survey goes live, and obviously we can get certified once the survey has been completed. I think a way to think about the when to survey question is sort of, there's probably 2 ways. Like, how soon do you want the data back to begin working on improving your workplace culture? So I think sometimes it's interesting to work back from that point. So, I mean, of course I would say, right, but the sooner we have the data in terms of what works well and what could we do better, the quicker we can start working on improvement. So I think that's a way to think about. And then many of the organizations we work with, they would think about, well, how soon do we want to be certified as a great place to work, so we can start using that logo in terms of attracting talent. So maybe that's 2 ways to think about in terms of the when to survey piece. Okay, what happens next, just in terms of flow? And I know many of you have been in conversation with us already. First step is once you're ready to come on board, to sign up, you will have a program manager that will work with you. Program manager, very experienced in terms of running projects. They will work with you in terms of that survey live date, help you set up a project plan, and you can go from there and begin to agree dates. So you will have a project plan. You will be able to communicate with the business. Look, these are the dates that we're working towards in terms of survey live date, results being presented, etc. Okay. And in terms of the activate your achievement piece, and I think we'll just have a quick poll here, if that's okay, or a couple of polls just before I share that. Will you be hiring in 2022? Yes, less than 5 people. Yes, between 5 and 20 people. Yes, between 21 and 50 people. Yes, more than 50 people. And no. And we'll leave that there for a few seconds just for everyone to answer that. Okay, so will you be hiring in 2022? 7% of people have said yes, less than 5 people. 39% of people have said yes, between 5 and 20 people. 32% have said yes, between 21 and 50 people, 32%. And 21% people or companies have said yes, more than 50. And it's interesting, nobody has said they're not hiring at all. So again, we're hearing a lot about companies hiring, the challenges around hiring, and 32% have said yes, between 21 and 50 people, and 21% have said yes, more than 50 people they're looking to hire. Well, you've come to the right place in terms of the hiring piece. That's great. Thank you very much for taking part in that. We will just take that down. Question there from Jill Mahan, actually. So we have locations in UK and Ireland. Would the certification cover both, or is it 2 separate processes? Jill, that's a great question. So we would survey all your employees in the UK and Ireland. You would submit a culture brief for Ireland, and you would also submit a culture brief for the UK. So you would submit the Excel file in terms of the demographics for the Irish employees, and the same then for the UK employees, and we can certify you both in the UK and Ireland. Okay, so we would run the survey for all, Jill, out of here, and yeah, we can certify you in the UK and Ireland. Hope that is useful. I'm sorry, I just have something here blocking my ability to see the slides. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so internal employee value proposition. So you are certified as a great place to work, and you will get to use the logo internally as well as externally. And sometimes we forget about the internal piece. So being able to storytell and communicate with your existing employees that yes, we are a great place to work is something that is really useful in terms of growing your internal employer brand and can generate a sense of pride amongst your existing employees. So to be able to use the logo internally as well is something that is really useful, just as much as the external piece, which is you will get to validate your employer brand externally. So once you're certified as a great place to work, you will get to use the logo in terms of how you look to attract talent. Okay, and in all the different ways that you look to attract talent, you will get to use that logo, which is obviously a great tool to have in terms of your employer branding piece. And we just have some visuals on the screen there, just to give you a flavor in terms of some of the clients and how they're using the brand. We also have a brand activation guide that will give you more details in terms of how organizations use the logo. So again, if you're interested in that, drop us a note and we can share that with you. Another part of the program is that you will get your own unique page on our website, again, to promote yourself as an employer. So what we find now is lots of clients, when they have jobs on offer and they're looking to attract talent, will populate the profile page on the website, and they will put a link in terms of when they're advertising a particular job that takes the candidate to this page. And again, they can see everything about that culture. And there's a bit of third-party endorsement where candidates will land on that page and they'll see, okay, they work with Great Place to Work. They're certified as a great place to work. It helps build their trust in terms of, should I choose this organization as a place to work or not? And just that rolling page there is a client of ours, ORS, who are an engineering organization. So that's another useful tool, I think, where you will get to direct talent towards that page, which helps in terms of their journey, helps in terms of their trusting of the organization and their decision as to whether to work in that organization or not. Similar to the above question that was asked previously, we have 40 staff in total, 15 based in Ireland and the remainder based in Argentina and Croatia. Are the employees in Croatia and Argentina eligible to participate? Yes, the answer is they can both be certified as a great place to work because they have more than 10 employees. So again, it's a similar piece to the UK answer. We will just need a culture brief for Croatia and for Argentina, and you can be certified in those local markets as well. Neve Breen asks, if the feedback comes back negative, do you have someone to work alongside you to improve the place of work? And do you pay again for the survey? Neve, that's a great question. So look, we're used to working with all sorts of feedback, and in every organization's data, there's some things come back that are challenging in terms of working for. We will work alongside you in terms of helping you build an action plan. Okay, and we will support you along with your leadership team to build out an action plan around improvement. And in terms of the pay again question, Neve, we hope that you will use our model at minimum at least every year. So we hope that you'll believe in our survey, believe in the advice that we give, and you will use our survey tool once a year. So the idea is you'll put an action plan in place and then look to survey again to see, have the actions worked? Have we improved our culture? Okay. Just this slide just gives you some insight in terms of the sense of community that's there. So we were really conscious when we set up the organization to build a sense of community, to build sort of a sense where organizations who are on the Great Place to Work journey can learn from each other, right? Can liaise with each other, can kind of share some best practices with each other. It's a really important part of the program. And you'll see a quote there from Elaine O'Dwyer, Head of HR and Engagement within O'Dwyer Real Estate Management. Just a quote that she has. But again, if you go on our website, you'll see lots of quotes and testimonials about how people appreciate the sense of sharing that's there within the program. Okay. Sometimes we're asked about pulse surveys. So, is it an option to be able to sort of pulse employees during the year on a particular topic? And yeah, lots of our clients will pulse survey as well. So they'll use the Great Place to Work survey as a sort of an annual survey around culture. And then they might want to dip in during the year and you can ask questions around communication or well-being. I know during COVID, a lot of our clients would have ran a COVID-19 care survey, just to dip in to employees with 11, 12 questions, just to see where are they at, what are we doing well, and what can we do to improve as well. So that's there as well as part of it, is the idea of being able to dip in and pulse your employees. We have a question here: if we don't achieve certification, what does that mean? Well, I mean, look, the way it works is any organization that has achieved certification, the idea is that you have an action plan in place. So even if you've achieved it or not achieved it, the idea is that you'll have an action plan in place to improve your culture. And if we get the right action plan in place, then eventually you will be certified as a great place to work. Just a selection of some certified companies that we work with. Again, look, you can go on the website and you can see these, but I think this slide probably speaks to the first slide I had, which was, we believe any organization can build a great culture. You can see the different mix of organizations there. And they all started at a different stage in terms of their journey. Okay, so if anyone's interested in an example of an organization that has been on a journey in terms of improving their culture, you can access the Woody's case study, which will give you a sense as to where they started a few years ago, sort of actions they put in place, and where their culture is at now. So big, small, across industries, any organization could be certified as a great place to work. Okay, I won't go through this, but again, it's what people say about the program, and different organizations have different reasons as to how as to their reason for being in the program, I would say. All right, Elaine in Mainstream Renewable, they're very much believing in the model. They needed a model, a consistent model to put into their culture to see where our strengths are and how we can improve. And on the right hand side, you see Woody's there. And as I said, if anyone's interested in seeing the Woody's case study, feel free to log on and you can access that case study. And that is sort of a sense of the culture. We'll just have a look at some of the questions work. We have a question here. How does the pricing work? So this person has multiple office locations and was wondering if we need to pay a separate fee to get certified in each of these locations. Yes, so how it works is the pricing works largely across employee numbers, depends on the level of insight that you're looking to get back, and also it depends on the level of certification you want across different countries. So if you're comfortable after this in sharing your employee numbers, the different locations that you work with, then we can do up pricing for you. Yeah, that's no problem. So we can share that with you. If the survey comes back and your score is low, once you make an action plan and improve things, do staff take the survey again a year later to try to score higher to receive the certification? Yes. So once the survey results come back in, we're glad and really excited about working with you and the leadership team to present your results. We'll help you develop an action plan around improvement, which will talk about your strengths, but also talk about the areas that you can improve in. And typically organizations then will survey again the following year. All right. But again, as I said, there's an option to do a pulse survey as well during the year if you just want to see check progress in terms of how your actions are going and whether they're working or not with organizations. Typically, we're looking to work with an organization that will use the model at least once a year, put the action plan in place and look to improve your culture. Isabel asks, is the Trust Index survey the equivalent of a general employee engagement survey? It's a great question, Isabel. Yeah, look, it's similar to lots of surveys, questions that are out there. Each question that we ask is orientated towards being able to put an action in place. Sometimes within employee engagement surveys, the way the question is phrased, it can be impossible to put an action in place, but all our questions are designed around supporting that idea of action planning. So yeah, you'll see similarities across many of the engagement surveys. I think a key difference, Isabel, between this survey and many others is that it's all positioned around the idea of wanting to build a great place to work, and that is very easy for employees to buy into, that concept of wanting to build and work in a great place to work. So I think that helps drive the high response rates we get back from organizations and the high participation rates in terms of the action planning that comes after. We have a question in around the cost of the process. So as I said earlier on, in terms of how the pricing works, based on employee numbers, based on the level of insight that you're looking for, if you're across different countries, can be based on the level of recognition that you're looking for. But just to give you a flavor in terms of rough costings on this, but again, talk to us individually about your own situation. If you're between 20 to 80 employees, you're looking to budget anything from about €6,500 to about €8,500. Again, depending on the level of insight that you're looking for. If you're at the 250 employee mark, you're looking to budget around the 11,500, right? And that'll give you all the insight that you're looking for. But again, talk to us specifically about your own interest and your own employee numbers and the levels of insight that you're looking for, and all of that. Okay, so we have a few more minutes in terms of questions. So look, keep the questions coming. Feel free to pop the questions into the chat there. Another question is, what do I need to prepare in advance to get certified? You really don't need to prepare a lot in advance. As I said, we've got really professional and experienced program managers that'll sit down and work with you. They will build out a project plan. You'll have all the dates and times that you need. So not a huge amount of prep in advance. I think it's worth thinking about. I know we had the discussion earlier on, how soon do you want to receive the data so you can begin working on improvement, and how soon do you want the recognition? What is the difference between best workplaces and certification? It's a great question. Certification is it's the first step on the road to any recognition that we do. You've got to be certified as a great place to work to be qualified for any other recognition, whether it be best workplaces by industry. Each year, all our certified organizations would be all in the pot, and the top 50% would be recognized as a best workplace. So that's how it works. But you don't need to do anything separate in terms of being a best workplace. Certification is the first step towards any recognition that we do. And if you want to check out all the recognition opportunities that are out there, feel free to have a look. Sharon Hayden, we're a small business. Sharon, how you doing? We're a small business under 15 employees. Does this program apply to us? Sharon, that is a great question. We can survey, we can support you around improving your culture. Absolutely. You can be certified as a great place to work. And Sharon, you're probably one of those organizations that are looking to build in terms of your employee numbers. So hopefully you'll see this model as something that'll build with you as you grow your organization in terms of size. So the answer is yes, Sharon. And again, talk to us about any needs that you have. How quickly can we turn this around? No problem, Sharon. How quickly can we turn this around? I presume that's to do with the results. Typically how it works is survey goes live. We leave the survey open for 2 weeks, and around 3 to 4 weeks after the survey closes, we can present your results, give you all the insights around your culture, and you can also be certified as a great place to work. So I hope that works in terms of a sense as to how quick we can turn it around. If you have already conducted employee surveys in recent years, would this info be considered along with the Great Place to Work survey? The answer is no in terms of the recognition. We don't factor in questions from other surveys. What I will say is, if you've already conducted surveys in recent years, I think that's a positive thing because you have a survey rhythm in place. So people are used to receiving surveys, which is great. So it won't be they'll be used to completing surveys. That's useful. And of course, with this survey, we'll ensure that you have an action plan in place, but we don't factor in questions from other surveys into the Great Place to Work program. But I'm no doubt there's overlap between our survey and the one that you've already done. Karen Buckley asks, is there a particular timeline to register to Great Place to Work? Thank you, Karen. There isn't really a particular timeline. Again, I think, Karen, think about how soon do we want to receive the data and how soon do we want to be recognized as a great place to work. And I think that's the best thing to consider, Karen, as you're looking at it. A question here as well, is the culture audit still part of the program? So I know some people on the call might have worked with Great Place to Work in other organizations. The culture audit for small to medium size organizations. So if you're an organization of 250 employees or less, you no longer have to do a culture audit. It's just a culture brief. If you're a large organization, so 250 employees plus, and you're interested in the best workplaces program, you have to do a culture audit, which is 5 open-ended questions. So if anyone is more than 250 employees in Ireland, let us know about that, and we'll share details in terms of how the culture audit works. Okay, and we are at 40 minutes past here. So I hope that was useful, and I hope everyone got their questions answered. And I'm sure you still have lots more questions, and that's absolutely fine. So feel free to send in any questions that you have. Really appreciate everyone joining us this morning. I know it's a busy time, and we've lots of Zoom calls throughout the day. And look, really appreciate you taking the time to look at it. I think probably to wrap it all together, what I would say is the program will help you in terms of retaining your best people. because we'll be able to tell you where are our strengths as a culture and where are the areas we need to improve. And it'll also help you attract new people, right? In terms of being recognized as a great place to work, being certified as a great place to work, and being able to use that logo. All right. And we have a good community in place of organizations sharing with each other. So that's it. Thank you very much to everyone for joining us. Thank you, Aoife. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're here to help. So any more questions that you have, anything like that, feel free to contact us. The last thing I want to say is a thank you to the Great Place to Work team. We have an incredible Great Place to Work team here. And I'm able to see Alice and Marina and Breen on the screen here. Alice and Marina, thank you for all the great work that you've done in terms of setting up this morning's session. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Emer, thank you. Sharon, thank you. Great. Thanks a lot for joining us, all right? And I hope you have a great day, and I hope the sun starts shining, at least in the afternoon. It's quite grey now. Thanks a lot.